Hey guys, and welcome to Chaos Zero Nightmare. So in this video, we'll be talking about my first impressions of the limited playtest. Also, we'll be talking about the UI and localization of the game, energy system, the gacha system, character development, gameplay, the game technicals, and also be talking about the daily grind and if this game is free to play friendly. So first up is going to be the user interface of the game. It's actually kind of organized. As you can see, little clutter in the UI. And if you want more to the interface, you have to click a drop down to be able to see all this. Plus, you would have a simple left and right menu. And if you want to change, of course, your wallpaper, there's a combatant mode, there's a default mode, plus there's a perk mode. This unlocks when you, I think, reach affinity level 10. Next up is going to be the localization, and we'll start with mechanics and effects that are not properly explained. And a classic example is going to be Sir Kowalski. This is a skill card. It has an effect which is Reload 1 and Draw 1. Draw 1 is very self-explanatory, but Reload 1 is kind of very vague. It doesn't have an explanation on your right side, and it doesn't have an explanation on your left side. Plus, on your left side, there is also cards available for creation. My question is, what triggers this? So, more or less, again, they need to provide more details in terms of the cards because it is crucial in deck building. So for some of the effects in this game, an example is also words that are different but have the same meaning. So when it comes to potential, let's have this one as an example. When using the steel card can be viewed here. The steel card is also called a steel barrier. So both of them have, different words, but again, have the same meaning. Plus also they should, check the terms and the spelling of the words that they put out because, again, from my understanding, this should be metallized, but it's spelled as metallicized. So as far as the help menu and tutorial, I think this is averagely put together as well. One other thing that they should focus on is going to be the save data. The save data definition here is the cards and equipment acquired by an agent while traversing chaos and saved to their save data. It's very straightforward, but it doesn't really tell you how it's saved and why those specific cards only that are saved. Because even though if you farm more cards, let's say if you have 12 cards, I think only a few will be saved, not all. So it should be a separate help item under this tutorial so that this would be explained better. So as I was beginning the story, I was initially interested in how all of this started, how the captain, was with his squad, how characters interacted with each other, how everything, came into play, plus character interactions, whatever. But again, in some part of the story, especially after the rescue mission, my interest kind of died down. And again, I would give the story a good rating as of the moment because I would have to reread the story once this game launches in global. So for your energy, it's actually above here. Your maximum energy is going to be at 240. If you click on your recharge Aether, it's gonna give you a max of 8 recharges per day. The crystals that you consume is going to be your premium currency, and as you go through each of the recharge, the cost of your crystals does increase. So I do hope that they could put in a overflow system just in case that you are fully charged. Also, for your energy, it's mostly going to be used here in simulation. So all of your resources are going to be farmed here. Let's go to growth. So as far as I know, all of the farming sections are going to be costing you 20. And each of the runs, like for example, the attempts are at a maximum of 60. The only concern that I have is the drop of the loot. The drops are pretty much very minimal, that you almost need to top up with energy, especially if you don't have the potions or the refresh of energy. You'd have to top up with crystal. Speaking of recharge, you could recharge once for free here in the Garden Cafe. Again, the Garden Cafe has a lot of relaxed features like petting some of the cats that are here in the cafe. Plus, after this one, we'll be going to the Ark to explore other features of the Ark itself. So for your Ark, this is basically the whole base itself, more or less. It has your main street, academy, vacation spots, administrative district. So if you want to find some of your agents going around, if you want to develop affinity with them, you could actually do this. Also send them a gift is also possible here. Then you have a policy office, which contributes to happiness and all of the stats that are used to run the whole base or the whole system. Then you have a Starshine Diner, which gives you basically buffs for your attempts in chaos. These are actually temporary buffs that you can buy in form of food. Then you do have the next one, which is again your Garden Cafe, which I mentioned earlier, which you could top up for free once, but it has also other features built into it. Then you have the Epitome Center and also have Psychotherapy. This will play into the gameplay itself. When your characters or agents do have a breakdown, they actually go here after the mission, especially if they finish the mission with a breakdown. So this is where they go, you delete their memories, you do some counseling. It also is part of all the gameplay. Then you have your research facility. Right now, this is very simple as unlock riddle dice proto skill, increase maximum number of policies to 8. This is more or less tied to the facility itself. Then you have Nono Shop, which is simply, again, a lot of resources that you could buy to help you in your journey, especially for affinity. You could buy gifts here for your agents. So for the gacha system, it's termed as Rescue. When we started with our limited playtest, there was a beginner banner here, which has a maximum of 50 pulls. As you go to the 50 pulls, you'll be guaranteed a 5-star. So now that it's gone, you are actually left with a standard banner, which is your combatant rescue. Then your partner rescue banner, which is technically your weapon banner. And we have another banner here. This one will be animating your cards. The currency for this gacha system is actually farmable within the game, so it's basically free. So again, most of the cards that you have do not have animations. This feature will be unlocking it. Again, let's go to the rates for both of the rates of both banners are actually the same. So again, just to clarify, this is your weapon banner, this is your character banner. If you go with agent information, these are the available characters that you can get, particularly your 5-star characters that you can get from this banner. And this one is going to be the rates. So you have here your content guide. This is your rescue guide, and these are the rates. It's a 1% chance with a guaranteed 5-star combatant after 70 pulls. So currently there is no soft pity in the game. So when a 5-star combatant is obtained, there is a 50% chance it will be the featured 5-star combatant for this high chance event. If the 5-star combatant event is not in the featured unit, the next 5-star you obtain is the guaranteed to be the featured. So again, there's a 50-50, but this one is a standard banner, so definitely the 50-50 is not really applicable because you could get any character here for the standard banner. So there's a probability guide here on how you'll be getting them as far as the rarity is concerned. So 5 stars here, then you have 4 stars here. Then you have your rescue record here. More or less, this one is going to tell you who you've rescued so far. And this is for the past 6 months. So my recommendation for the gacha system is, number one, they should introduce a soft pity. If it's actually a 70 for the hard pity, probably have a soft pity starting at 50 or at 40. That would be beneficial so that we could get characters early. And plus the 50-50, I don't know if that is still, that is still a trend now. I would rather have a rate of either 75-25 or probably have 100% on the first character that you get. Then on the succeeding copies, you could probably get a 50-50 or a 60-40 or a 75-25. Again, I do hope that they increase the chance of getting the combatant or the partner early. So for your character development, we do have here Veronica as our character. Then if you check this one is your class info. She's a ranger. Then your attribute is going to be passion. So more or less those are the class and your element. Then you do have the affinity bonuses. As you send a gift, you gain stats. Then once you do combatant training, you also gain rewards. So here are your stats here. As you go down, you would see here your basic cards when you do acquire a character. Then the ego skill is going to be the ultimate skill of that character. So we do have the partner, which, as I've said, is considered the weapon of your combatant. Then you have your save data. This is where you save all of the farmed equipment and the new cards and the old cards that you have farmed within a chaos stage. Then you have here potential. Potential is basically going to be additional effects or passives that would be added to your character as you unlock them. The good thing about this is this one is actually farmed for free. So all you need to do is just unlock your level, then you can upgrade all of your potential. Manifest Ego is going to be copies of the character. As you get copies of the character, there are certain effects that are added to your character. So again, your character becomes stronger. Manifest Ego is again dependent on the gacha system, on how many copies you get, as well as the partner. This is also dependent on the gacha system, but again, the lower rarity partners I find is also very useful. So these are farmed together with your character in the character banner. They're very useful. I've been using them. I haven't been pulling in the partner banner so far. The only thing I think that they should clarify, again, going back to what I've said before with the save data, is once you go through chaos and through a stage wherein you farm your gear, you farm your cards, the gear you're sure to attain. It's only 3. But the cards, sometimes you farm, over than 8. And what you end up most of the time is only 8 cards. So what happens to the other cards? Plus, you do get to copy a card. And what happens to the copy as well? Again, save data should have a little bit more of a tutorial. And your Manifest Ego, again, the gacha system, if they could do better with the rates, then this will be good. So for the heart of the game, we will go to the gameplay and we will go with Chaos and Chaos Manifestation. This is where we're going to be farming our gear and farming for new cards for our deck, depending on which character we bring. So we're gonna have to choose a system here, either small or medium. Let's go with City of Mist here. And as we enter, we do have our default team ready, just in case if you want to change your default team, you can check your preset. If you have some presets here, just select and load the team of your choice. So this team here, I specifically selected, but right now I'm not going to go into why I built this team or why I'm using this team. We'll go through that in a separate video with an in-depth play or formation guide of the chaos manifestation itself, the whole thing. This one is going to be talking about just a summary of what it is. So right now, all of your combatants will be using their basic cards as I explained before, because they'll be acquiring cards here. So there's a switch here above here. If you try to switch this is going to convert into deep trauma mode. So the difference of this for the regular one, save data max cap is low. This one is also low, but there's a downside and a benefit to deep trauma mode. So the rewards are, as you can see, are the same. The boss is the same. But if you click on enter and take note, I just opened this difficulty 3 because I'm at level 30 right now for my account. So for your deep trauma mode, you have some of these deficits and pluses. You have escape penalty. You cannot obtain save data when you escape. Then you have mental disorder. The combatant's mental state manifests. Again, going back to escape penalty, be sure to finish the whole run, please, so that you can save the cards and the gear that you get within this run. Then you have breakdown, deepening, collapse, and breakdown intensify, and the effects are enhanced. Then there is an epiphany, which is usually an effect that is added to your card as you play it. Then this mode gives you save data increase, which again, you can save better cards for your deck. So to start with, we have a couple of mental afflictions here. So these are basically what they get when they get that mental affliction once their stress is at their limit. Okay, so as we continue, we do have a starter card or a starter buff or starter effect. Once you go through chaos, you just click on it. Usually there are 3 choices, but for this one, you have only 1. You do confirm. Max health is 848 based on that buff. So as you click on these are your areas wherein you're going to be going around. So the first one is definitely going to be a battle, factions that appear here. Then this one is going to be a event, which is basically unknown. The event could be, for a gear, could be for a card, could be for credits. Again, this is going to be a surprise. So as you go along, you also encounter a rest area, which you could either, for this rest area, you could only get some rest, you get health, you relieve some stress, and you could also get a card here. Then this one is going to be a elite battle area, which you have elite enemies, which you have better rewards as well. There is a rest area here, which is going to give you a DeLong shop. So the DeLong shop is where you can buy your gear, where you could buy a card. This is also where you could, similarly rest up, gain some health, de-stress, and also there's an area here where you could also get a card. Okay, so this all leads up depending on what you decide on, and this ends up eventually to a boss which gives the best reward. So you have to finish all of these for you to get all of the rewards, the gear, the cards that you have accumulated since the start up to the boss. So let's click on one here and choose a path. So let's click the middle one. Okay, so let's have a good, overview of what's happening here. This is going to be a lot, more or less, for some of you guys. So here is your health bar. The bar below and beside your characters is going to be your stress bar. So watch out for that. It's going to be colored purple. So below the characters are going to be the effects that they're going to be getting, whether it be a buff or a debuff. Plus, this one is going to be a combat log that you could check. Also, this one on your left is going to be your library, where you will be drawing cards. Okay, so down your library is going to be your ultimate skill, which is your ego, which is going to be playing you a lot of ultimates depending on your character. So each of your ultimate has ego points. So as EP here, as your EP charges, then you could play a certain skill. Like right now, you have 2 EP. You could actually play the skill. So power shot. You click on the character, then your partner is going to be adding your ultimate skill. Most of the EP is connected with your partner. To your right is going to be your graveyard. So once you discard a card that you used, it goes here. Then once a card is exiled or no longer going to your graveyard, it is termed as exhaust cards. So sorry for the terms. The terms are more familiar to me as a Magic the Gathering player. So if you're familiar with Magic the Gathering, then you'll be familiar with the system for here. And you have a undo move, which is this one. You could undo a move if you did a wrong move. You could actually undo it here. Then for the upper part, these are just reminders of what you get in Deep Trauma mode. And you cannot do an autoplay while in this mode or in chaos. So take note of that. Okay, so as we go to the middle, these are your cards. You have your action point here, total of 3, and your card has action points here above. So again, you could, with 3, you do the best that you can with the cards that you have. As far as the UI is concerned for the gameplay, I think it's spot on. It's a mix of cuteness and probably creepiness, which is a weirdly a nice mix. So let's try to go through one turn or a couple of turns here and see how the gameplay is gonna be. So starting with casting a ballista, which is going to be firing before your turn ends. We have 2. Then we go with a shield to have protection. By the way, the team that I have is mostly built on defense and free attacks and utility. Cassius here is going to be more on utility. Let's do one attack here. So right now, we've used all our action points. Then we will click done. Then the ballista shoots. Then goes your second turn. Then before that, the enemy attacks. So again, the ballista is still here. You don't have to recast this. That is actually the ability of Veronica. So for the second turn, we do, let's say we want to gain health here, casting once. So your ultimate here, you can't activate because you only have 1, and the cost here, the minimum one is 3. You could catch this later. You could cast this later and heal and damage reduction of 1. So right now, all we have to do is do an attack. Do an attack here. Then end our turn. Before we end our turn, ballista again shoots. Down to 1 enemy, and next we go. So let's do the basics here. Just wanna do a shield because we don't want, as your characters are being damaged, basically they gain stress. As you can see here, Cassius has a purple tinge already in this bar. That is stress. You don't want it to go full. So you have to take care of this character either by not getting hit through a shield or taking them out. Okay, so let's do more attacks. The last attack would be your ballista. There you go. So those are very simple things. So as you do some battles, you'll be getting credits or you'll be getting gear depending on the area, or you'll be getting a new card. So let's obtain this and leave. Then on to the next area. So again, for this stage, just want to have this next. You will have here a situation. This is basically a what do you call this? A situation where you can roll a dice. You could get a card if you are successful in rolling the dice, you should roll a dice that is 7 or above and get a common to rare public card. The other choice is also search the body and gain a rare legendary equipment, or you could actually fight if there's an option. We'll go with rolling. So the rolling is, I have a +2, I have a modifier. So as we roll, we get a 7 +2, we get an 8, so we do have success. So again, as you're here, the rewards are random. So you have to choose the best ones possible depending on your decisions. I'll go with this one. So far, one of the best cards that I've seen in terms of draw, because once you draw, it automatically activates the card. You don't need to spend for it. But this one goes to your exile or exhaust pile. So that is the event, then you leave. The last example that we're going to be having is going to be your rest area. So your rest area, again, generates your health, generates your stress, plus you have a training area here. If you want to train or rest, you only have to choose either one. You can't do both. So right now, I'm at full strength. Let's just do some training here with the cost of credit so you confirm, because the training will yield you cards. Again, get the best cards that you can and assign it to the best character in your team. So basically, that's it. Again, your deck building will revolve around card acquisition, gear acquisition, and please make sure that you finish this up to the end, up to the boss. So as an example here, once you finish the boss, for example, there will be options to save data depending on the cards and the equipment that you got. If you have an existing save data, you can change this with what you have, or you could go to your default deck build. So this is the one that I've been using for Cassius so far, and I've been happy with this, with the mix of equipment and the mix of cards. So as a summary for the game, let's talk about game technicals. The only thing that has bothered me was on day one, which was when in full screen mode, I wasn't able to see my mouse, but that was actually addressed. I actually transferred to window mode to be able to see my mouse again. Plus the PC launcher. Again, I'm doing the test on the PC launcher. It is gonna need a lot of functions in terms of the keyboard. So we need more hotkeys so that we could add more functions to the PC launcher and connect it with your keyboard. Plus, the stove launcher login. I hope they would simplify it. It's very tedious. The sign in. I do have to sign in every time I do use stove as the launcher. Plus, also the daily grind. Let's talk about it. I'd say that it's usually an hour minimum, depending on how far you want to grind. Really. Most of the time, you'll be spending it in Chaos Manifestation, and most of the time, that is the bulk of your play. Okay, so again, the game is usually cleared, especially for the resources. They're not using a clearance ticket, they're using challenge attempts, which contributes mainly to the length of the battle that you're in. And lastly, as you know, is it free to play? So initially, I'd say yes. Depends really on the future content and difficulty of the game. Free to play is going to enjoy playing this because of the deck building aspect of the game. Farming helps non-spenders catch up. Not just get the best characters and weapons and expect to win, which is really what the game should be. Again, guys, my overall rating of the game is 6.5 out of 10. And again, the game really is good. It's really good. And I'm actually excited that hopefully it will be launching soon. They just have to polish it more. Again, this is, please understand that this is a limited playtest. This is not launched yet. So they have time to really polish what it needs to be polished in this game. So that is it, guys. Again, comment down in the comment section. What do you think about my review? Have you played the game? Have you played the limited playtest? And comment down in comment section. Stay safe. Take care. This is the Warden, and I'm already awake.